that you leave this room with an expanded understanding of your personal journey. Why motherhood? I've often been asked that. Why bother? During my years of doctoral training, I noticed a very peculiar thing. My professors, my clinical supervisors, the psychiatrists on my team, when they assessed or made treatment plans for a woman, her work as a mother did not factor into them at all. It was as though that part of her life didn't affect her or didn't exist at all. These were different times. Some statistics about mothers and mental health. Last one. Go back. Go back. This one, and I'll let you know in the next slide. So the statistics used to be in those days and still are pretty noteworthy. Some of you may know that mothers are more vulnerable to depression than non-mothers. And mothers with more children are more at risk than mothers with just one. But I would sit with mothers. I would always feel like I got it. Yeah, me too. I get it. But you know, when I say that, I think everyone in the room would probably feel the same way listening to a mother talk about her day. But when the same woman is presented as a case in a psychological setting, the available models that existed at that time for conceptualizing her really always pigeonholed her as rigid or controlling, too emotional, incapable of secure attachment, irrational, etc. Feeling overwhelmed is quite common. I think we have all felt that. We feel silent about these feelings, unable to share them without feeling uncomfortable. Maybe perhaps even sometimes inadequate. This is because we don't consider these feelings to be coming from real stresses, as we believe that our work really isn't real work compared to a paying job. So what seemed to me to be the completely understandable result of genuine hard work was back then seen as a personal failure of a woman or a pathology of a woman. Next slide, please. This really confused me for a while, and it led me to question myself and doubt whether I was really seeing what I was seeing. And I believe that when one is a first generation immigrant, which is what I am, you have the gift of being able to see everything as unfamiliar because you have fresh eyes. You get to wonder about it and you get to question it, rather than just fit into the existing way of thinking, which as first generation immigrants initially we cannot anymore. So I became, next slide please. So I became very curious about the invisibility of a mother's work, but in a very specific way when I began my doctoral research. I wondered, how do we decide what constitutes knowledge? How do we decide how to change knowledge? Am I in the way here? Am I in the way for you? A little bit? Sorry about that. Better? So again, as a first generation immigrant, I had the luxury to wonder, how do we acquire knowledge?